Good morning, North High. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be sure to sign up for your AP exams. The deadline is February 16th. See Mr. Palmer if you have any questions.
Key Club will be selling Valentines on all 4 lunches today. Be sure to stop by and send your friends a Valentine.
Key Club and the sophomore class are hosting a Spring Fest for children on Saturday, March 10th. Volunteers are needed. If interested, please sign up on the bulletin board outside of the bathrooms on the English hallway. Any questions? See Mrs. Watson or Mrs. Orr.
Attention all students, we need your help. There are families in our community who are in desperate need of winter supplies. North High has started a clothing drive for hats, gloves, scarves, and coats. There are boxes around the school labeled donation boxes. Please donate all that you can to these families. Your donation could help change a life. If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Henderson in room 104.
Looking for something to do this spring? Join the Unified Track and Field team. Unified Sports joins students with and without disabilities on the same team. There will be a mandatory parent meeting on Thursday, February 22nd at 5:30 p.m. in the Media Center. Practice will begin on Tuesday, March 6th. See Coach Forsythe in room 133 in the F wing for paperwork.
Do you love burritos? Cool, me too. We should be friends. Come to Chipotle today, February 13th, between 5 and 9, to support Class of 2020 and eat some burritos and guac. There's always room for guac.
For all girls interested in playing lacrosse this spring, there will be an informational meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, February 14th, right after school in the cafeteria about the upcoming season and conditioning for this month.
There will be a brief meeting in the cafeteria on Wednesday, February 14th at 3:30 for baseball prospects that need paperwork for tryouts. If you do not need paperwork to try out, you do not need to attend.
SAT prep will be canceled this week and will resume on Thursday, February 22nd. Utilize the SAT Google Classroom during this time. The classroom code is CBXQKE.
The Saga Club, Sexuality and Gender Acceptance Club, meets every Wednesday at 3:35 in room 125. All are welcome to come.
What's up? I'm Mike Smith. I've realized something over the past few years. Our world, it's more connected than ever. Most of us have 3 or 4 social media sites we deal with. We've got our email on our phones, we get text messages, but most of us, we call ourselves busy, but in reality, we check our Facebook 15 times an hour. We focus on, sending Snapchats with friends all around the world. You spend so much time buried in your phone thinking something amazing is happening somewhere else, and so we stay stuck to our phones just scrolling through looking for what's going on. And to be honest, you're missing out. You're missing out on everything that's happening around you. You ever walked into a coffee shop, looked at a group of people sitting there and no one's talking to each other? They're just rolling through their phones. They're not even having a conversation. It's like they invited each other to go to coffee, but nobody's talking to each other. You look over in the car next to you and it's just people sitting there on their phones and they're buried into their phones and no one's actually paying attention to what's happening around them. You see, that's what's happening. You're just missing out. So my friends and I, we've just come up with this thing that we do together called a digital detox. When we spend time together, there's a rule, and that's that we're just not going to be on our phones. If we're in the car together, we just grab all of our phones, we throw them in the glove box or the glove compartment, and we just sit there and we spend time together. It's not about being on our phones, it's about where we're going. When we're at the coffee shop, everybody puts their phone in the middle of the table and nobody's allowed to touch it, and we remember why we even went out to get a cup of coffee. We begin to talk about how we're doing, how each other's day is going, how we can help, the things that we can do, and we laugh as we look around us and we notice all the people who are just buried into their phones and not even having a conversation. We'll go to the park, we'll go hang out, and we'll try to make sure that we're not focused on our phones and we're focused on just spending time with each other. And we've really realized how important it is to have this digital detox, and it's given us an appreciation for the things around us. It's helped us to just keep our heads up. Kind of reminds me of my friend Steve. 10 years ago, he just decided he was done with it. He was done with all the distractions. It wasn't about his phone anymore, it wasn't about his car. He just grabbed a bike and he decided he was going to just document the world. He began riding his bike everywhere. He saw things. He saw things on the side of the road. He saw things happening to people. He began to notice the needs in his community, and he just began taking photos of everything that he saw as he'd ride his bike. And the more and more Steve noticed the world around him, the more the world began to notice him. because the photos that he was taking were so incredible. He'd capture things that most of us just walked past. And everyone that gets to spend time with him, the one thing that we can appreciate is that he's become an expert of just being present. And if you don't think being distracted is a problem, it is. It's a huge problem. I mean, did you know car crashes are the #1 killer of teens, and being distracted is a huge part of that? You know, oftentimes we look to our phones to feel included, but what happens is we ultimately end up feeling more isolated. When I learned to put my phone down and just be present with the things around me, that's when I actually began to feel more important. I began to feel more included. So let me ask you, when was the last time you and your friends just hung out? You just weren't distracted. You put your phones down and you just spent time together. What would it look like for you if you just decided to take a mini digital detox? You know, if you're not sure when to do it throughout the day, do it when you drive. Toss your phone in your glove box. Just focus on the drive, focus on where you're getting to. The next time you go out and grab a cup of coffee with your friends, just make it a rule. It's not about being on our phones. It's about being present. Maybe when you're in the cafeteria at lunchtime, don't make it about sending snaps back and forth or hanging out on Instagram with someone somewhere else. Make it about being present. What would it look like for you if you just decided to be a little bit more present? What would it look like for all of us if we were just a little less distracted?
In this video, Mike Smith talks about distractions. Do you see amazing happening everywhere else or right in front of you? Are you present?
Have a terrific Tuesday, North High.